25 people so far in the morning, talking about the 11th hour that Kenyans are known for. But going back to the conversation earlier on, and Duncan, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one, that appeal by IEBC. If they have their way, what impact will it have in the whole process, if any?
If actually the Court of Appeal disagrees with the High Court judges, then it will actually have political ramifications. Mm-hmm. That is, you've had members of NASA saying that if that happens, they will actually as well boycott that election because they will actually lose confidence in the process. Even if they decide to participate, the other issue will be, and I've had people outside there saying, what is the need of participating in elections when the decision will be made by the people who count or the people who declare? So your participation is actually not a major factor. So that is actually a message that will be sent, and I believe political parties will actually, especially the opposition, NASA, would actually have their work cut out in terms of trying to convince their members that there are these alternative modes in terms of securing your vote. But that is basically the main issue, and I think the discord I have with my colleague panelist, when he says that the work of the IBC chair is actually to verify in terms of the law, and I agree with him. The Constitution is very clear about verification. But verification is not tantamount to actually interfering with the figure itself. They can verify, and that is why, from where I sit, the fact that we have these new gadgets that they were introducing yesterday, which will simultaneously also transmit these particular results, is still a process of verification. But what powers do they have? That is actually what the gist is. Once the returning officer said these are the figures, and they are actually just verifying. Does verification mean you can alter? Who has given you the powers to alter? Who is actually going to supervise the alteration? And he asked a very
Why
sensitive...
should we even have an alteration?
Yes, and he asked,
in
any case. But he also asked a very sensitive question.
Yeah.
At the constituency level, you find that agents will actually sign. And those results have been signed, and the returning officer declares the results which have been signed by agents of all these participants. When it is sent to the National Tallying Center, and we've had that problem before, this verification or alteration, it is done unilaterally. No one else is there to actually see the reason, and the law does not provide for that. And that's why results that are churned out at that particular point become a recipe for chaos, because people will not accept them.
People will not accept them. Marcus, one of the things that one of the judges said when they were giving this ruling is that how can the final results from a tallying center be provisional? I mean, what does that mean? Does it mean that, when they get to the National Tallying Center, we have some other new results? And that's where the contention really comes in. If that happens, will there be as much faith as people seem to have right now in IEBC? Will that sort of change?
I think it will. I think the good practice would be that the results to be declared at the most lowest level, as much as possible. Initially, ILOG had proposed, you asked about our opinion, we had proposed earlier when the Joint Select Committee was sitting on the IEBC. Our proposal was that results to be declared with the finality at the polling session. Of course, that was not accepted, and they said, there's a need for checks and balances as you move to the next levels. So, but I think
balances.
Balances. But I think that in the event, as you said, there is the polling station really is the unit. Is the unit where results should be really announced. But also, some results, some positions are either ward-based, and therefore they will require multiple polling stations. Are constituency-based, therefore they will require multiple wards. So you see those levels that will require coalition and tallying to be able to pronounce results.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving the conversation forward, and let's talk about the campaign. They're supposed to officially begin on the 20th of May.
Yes.
And Fula Chebukati said, he was asked by a journalist, but we've been seeing this happening, for the last couple of months, and he said that no, that was just the presidential campaigns, and there's a way that he put it. But do you think that IBC, together with the NCIC, then the police, are well equipped and committed and well aware of some of the situations that will arise with these rallies, because that's where you have hate speech remarks, being made left, right, center, especially as ELOG? What's your concern about?
As ELOG is, again, coming from 2013, where we observed a number of violations during campaigns, the use of hate speech, the systematic alienation of certain groups of people from participating in the process. And a number of electoral offences were committed during that time. And as ELOG, we have mounted a very robust mechanisms to monitor the campaign process. We have deployed in every constituency 2 people to monitor the campaign process. In addition to that, in every constituency of the country, we have deployed 290, in the country, we have 290 constituency monitors that will be monitoring, again, the campaign process with a broader picture. And we are monitoring even you, the media, on a number of things.
Oh,
so
really?
we have a robust, even now we are monitoring what you're saying and how you're asking us. because you're also an electoral stakeholder.
Yeah.
And so what you tell the public, when Raila or Uhuru or Babayao or whatever,
Yes.
we'll see how do you cover some of these candidates. Do you cover women as much as you cover men? Do you cover PWDs as much as you cover someone like me? So we're monitoring all those elements and of course not to look for faults, but to look at issues that are emanating from that observation and address them quickly as we proceed to the election.
All right.
Yes.
But if you have a problem, say an aspirant has gone out there and he's made some remarks which are questionable,
Yeah.
in this period, are we really going to see a prosecution being made, if especially we've not seen prosecutions done before, Duncan?
Yeah.
Betty, I have a very big issue with that. Broadly, I would like to say that I don't think we're even prepared for that. What my colleague panelists indicates is that they are ready, they'll monitor and all that. That has been there. And the problem is that, do you synchronize that with the requirements of the law in terms of a successful prosecution? You'll actually notice that from the ruling of from the Chief Magistrate's Court in Nairobi, in the case against Waititu and I think another member of parliament, the courts were very clear. You had all these video evidence taken of them actually talking and all that, but the court actually found that that did not meet the threshold of the Evidence Act. So what I'm seeing and I see doing is that they have actually bought all these video recorders, sound recorders and all that. You will get all those.
Body cameras.
Body cameras and all that, but to what ends? You will actually give it to the media, or the social media will actually play it out, but in terms of achieving a successful conviction, they should go and read these rulings from these courts and say, why didn't these meet the threshold? What do we need to do better? It's not because if they do that, I can tell you they'll have all the evidence, but it will not have successful prosecution.
Let me ask you from a layman's point of view, if you have a video of a certain person saying something that's not supposed to be said, how is that not enough? It's a question that has puzzled. It still puzzles me. It still puzzles the public. What more do you need to get to that threshold that you're talking about?
The issue is you'll find that these videos, they actually go and try and edit them so that you just have that clip that say that this person is saying ABCD. That is what they subject to the court. Once they do that, there are questions that will abound. These people will actually say the statement was taken out of context.
Okay.
How will you ever put it in context in court when you don't have the entire clip?
Okay.
Secondly, once you do that, the person who has done this is actually a subject of the court because this is another process. And he must actually do a certificate. He must actually indicate how he did it, and even the safe custody of this particular clip from the moment it is taken up to the moment it is presented in court. There are legal procedures that must be met, and it is actually enshrined in law, which is a new regulations and amendments which were brought in the face of technology.
Right.
But even as we say that, the other angle of it in terms of our police, you'll find that you just need to look at the nominations which we've just come from, and he was an observer. They were bungled. We had a lot of offenses which were committed,
yeah.
but I can tell you there's no one who is being prosecuted. We saw people hacking others with pangas. Actually, even the police themselves in Nyanza, I think Homa Bay, they actually shot one person. Yet when we had people attacking the officers of Jubilee Party in Gatundu, shots were actually fired in the air. So those are actually atrocities. Yeah, there's already, and that will cause aggression. People will say, even these officers are not neutral, because why would a different force be used for a lesser offense and a lesser force used for a greater offense on this end?
All right. Interesting. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time. Duncan Okachi is an advocate and a political analyst. We also have Marcus Agenga, who is from the Elections Observers Group. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Betty.
All right, so we'll take a break right now here on News Center, but we're coming back in a few minutes to continue with our coverage.